Ba-ba-dam, bam, ba-ba-da-ba-dam, bam. Just in at MSNN News Network. Sorry, I've just had like um, some dealings with Elon Musk and Keir Starmer. They're so obvious it's not funny. They don't even try to hide the fact that they're really dumb at hiding the fact that I'm pissing them off because I'm speaking the truth. So anyway, but then so end. But then so end, guys. But then so end. What happened was I just posted some evidence on my social medias in regards to Israel and Ukraine trafficking girls from Russia and the Ukraine, taking them to Israel under the guise of like work and safety and security and all that. Some of the articles go back to 2019, but if you know this war in Ukraine with Russia, it actually started in 2014. But it also vindicates, these articles vindicate everything that Vladimir Putin and I have been saying about how they've been using this war in Ukraine to traffic women and children and that. However, I've also proven evidence, given evidence to the ICC as well as the King, that they have been harvesting organs off these women as well. I've shown them videos where women were going over to Ukraine thinking they were getting jobs, thinking they were, and other Middle Eastern countries as well, I might add, thinking they were getting jobs or being trafficked and then ending up having their organs harvested. The other thing is, a British doctor has come out and said that Palestinians are being returned, Palestinian children are being returned dead with their organs missing, their heart, their lungs, their eyes, their kidneys, all of that. So it confirms everything I've been saying. Now, interestingly, in one of the articles that I found that I've presented to the ICC, says that certain millions of money was designated to investigating the sex trafficking and the prostitution rings and all of that, and the money vanished. They don't know where it's gone. So it proves everything that I've been saying. And then I posted those two things, and then instantly I got shut out of X. Oh, with unusual activity, and I think it's because I've been carpet bombing people with the links to my last video, to British people and Canadians and Australians who are on my social media, and saying, look, people are listening to me and petitioning the King. This is what you need to do. So then, because they shut me down, and the thing is, it's the email on that account isn't my email connected to my ex. That's the weird thing about it. But anyway, yeah, he tried to kick me out of X, which means I'm pissing them off because I'm telling the truth. I'm just I'm just a peasant woman with a gift of physics, who works for God, who speaks the truth, who's trying to defend a nation that's been accused of things they haven't done, by people pretending to be their friends, like America. I absolutely, the second Zelensky finished that meeting with Trump in America, he immediately tried to assassinate Putin. I would bet money on it. Trump gave him the go ahead to do it because Putin isn't playing, you see, and Trump wants to be able to build hotels and resorts in that in Eastern Europe, and nobody's playing ball because nobody trusts him. They know he's out to rape their lands of resources and stuff like that, and he comes in with a smile, but he's like a great white shark. Donald Trump, he's like a great white shark. And he sees Russia and like Slovakia and Slovenia and Estonia and Hungary and all that, he sees them as prey. That if I come in with a smile and pretend to be their friends, they'll give me their resources, they'll let me build my resorts and that, because, as I've said before in previous lives, hotels and businesses, resorts, that sort of thing, like how they want to do with Gaza, it's how they're trafficking, it's how they're laundering the stolen money and the stolen gold, with the golden toilets and all that. It's how they're hiding their money. It's how the coalition of Epsteiners and that are all hiding their money. What I just uncovered with the last two posts, which I've put in the description box, that pissed pissed them off and got me into trouble with X. I don't care because I don't care. It's not. All it does when they try to shut me down, shut me up, you turn my internet off, switch my phone off, that sort of thing. It proves that whatever it is I'm saying at the time is the truth, and they don't want the truth coming out because they're so dumb. They think that we'll shadow ban her and we'll threaten her to get her kicked off X, and like I'm going to be like, oh no, I'm being kicked off X, because it's not like I don't back everything up. So, it's a dead giveaway. They're so obvious that they're watching me and they don't like what I'm saying, that when they try to shut me up, shut me down, be an inconvenience, wahaha, we'll show her. Like, it's basically their way of saying, yeah, all right, she's telling the truth. So I've put the links in the description box. If you're sensitive, don't read it. But it is all there. The news articles that come from an Israeli newspaper and that an Israeli news website itself. So, yeah, I've just been proven right. Like what they've just done, it's just proven me right about everything. And because now what's happened is people have started bombarding social media with messages to the king about when the hell are you going to do something about Starmer. And then, of course, I come along and I start bombarding everyone with the links to my last video saying people are listening to me and they're starting to petition the king. Do the same thing, Commonwealth nations, and pass this on. And then, of course, I do that as well as post the last two links. They unticked the king and the International Criminal Court's blue ticks off my social media, like I don't know. And then, of course, when I had to reset my, to go back into my X, they were completely taken off my posts that I had started posting again. They were appearing on my post right up until I had to reset my X. And then they vanished, so I just put them back on. But I also put them on my Instagram and that as well, because I have to back everything up because Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Keir Starmer are not friends of free speech. I can tell you that now, and what they've just done to me absolutely proves it. Every time they try to shut me down or shut me up or kick me out of something, I just take screenshots and post it everywhere else because it's absolute proof that they are not friends of free speech. Free speech means say what you like. But with them, it's say what you like as long as it agrees with us. Not say what you like if it's going to end up with us going to The Hague. But the thing is, I speak the truth because, like, I'm a messenger of God and I'm a guardian to the pure and innocent. And these monsters are taking children and innocent women and that from Russia and Ukraine and Eastern Europe and using them to do really bad, evil things. And I can't not say anything, even if it costs me my freedom or my life or my X account. I can't not say anything. But they terminated my Facebook back in my WordPress days when I was first whistleblowing about Tom Hanks and all that. When I was getting the codes about Seth Green and Meryl Streep so I got kicked out of Facebook and lost everything off Facebook. They kicked me out of WordPress as soon as I started whistleblowing about Hillary Clinton and Frazzled Rip and all the stuff she was doing with oh God, what's her name? Rachel. She was friends with Eminem, the cannibal. Rachel, what's her face? Anyway, yeah, so then I lost all that work on WordPress. So I just know that if that happens, it's God's way of saying you've done everything now. Like just move on. You've gone as far as you can go with this, and now it's time to move on to something else. So I don't sweat that stuff because I trust that anything that happens to me is God saying this needed to happen. So what they just did on my ex was God's way of saying this needed to happen because it proves everything you've been saying is real and you're a threat. You're a real threat to these people. I'm one little single mum, just a little single woman, just sitting here in my little flat waiting to get justice for my ex-husband trying to kill me, trying to defend innocent nations from having their kids and children and men in that sent off to be raped and murdered and forced into sex trafficking and having their organs harvested and that. I mean, because anybody in their right mind would do that, right? Apparently not, because I seem to be the only one who's banging the drum and blowing the whistle and saying, look what they're blaming on countries like Russia. So, so I'm just little old me and I'm a threat to the powers that be. Every time they do it to me, whatever it was I was just talking about, that's not that's what they're trying to stop from getting out. And what they shut me down from was what I've put in the description box below. So that's what they're not wanting to get out, which is everything that I've been talking about with DP World and that since I started doing my investigation on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, because it correlates to everything that I've been saying in my investigation since Boxing Day. So Starmer has screwed up really, really bad. He has no idea how bad he's messed up because now what's happening is the King's getting bombarded with messages and he's about to be bombarded with letters from all over the country, from all over the world. And it's drawing the King into this fight now. And he's not going to want to get involved. And I guarantee you, Starmer's just sealed his fate with what he's done with me because he forgets that everybody's watching. It's my evil laugh. So, yeah, he screwed up so bad. Like, he'd be a brave man to be showing his face in public now once all of this stuff starts getting out. Now that people know what to do, because see that where I got the post from with the woman Penny, I think her name is, who posted that copy of the guy's letter, it's starting to go viral. That letter is like hundreds of thousands of people are looking at it and passing it on and retweeting it and everything. And so I've been going along and saying, yeah, that's me. I'm the one that's been telling people to petition the King. So Starmer will not be happy because he knows he's finished. If he's not gone by the end of the week, I'll be really surprised. And now with this evidence that I'll be putting in the description box, this evidence proves everything right. About, because remember the Queen as well has been saying it's been going on since Tony Blair, that all this stuff has been going on since Tony Blair, and now because the war in Ukraine has actually been going on since 2014 and this last article is from 2019, that's how long it's been going on for. And I've been saying from my blog days, 2016, 17, 18, 2019 is when my husband left. That's when they all decided to try and pull my tower down because they're all in on it together. My husband, my ex-husband, friends, students, clients, because they thought I was the bad guy, and now they've walked into defending an international pedophile ring and organ harvesting ring because they're idiots. Because they thought they knew better, Santaro and that. They thought they knew better than me. They thought they were smarter than me and had more gifts, and they formed a coven. And she was the high priestess, and Chris was supposed to be the high priest. But they're really bad at it. And because then they didn't know. They thought, oh, we're going to use our gifts and skills and we're going to be a cult and, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need her. And then all it did was it untied the binds and my wings came out. And then they got to see who I really was. And my wings are black and white. because I work for God and I work for the underworld. And they didn't know who I was because I had never had any reason to unleash my wings until now. And now they're learning. And Keir Starmer has messed up monumentally. Satan's got him by the throat now. What he's just done to me has sealed his fate. That's the final nail in the coffin, because everybody was watching. I made sure everyone was watching. He's now backed into a corner and he's been pinned by the throat by Satan after what he's just done with Baphomet, Elon Musk helping him, because they all work together, you see, because they're all friends of Epstein. They all do bad things to children. Ed Davis, I think his name is, the Lib Dem leader. Elon Musk is about to be done for allowing child pornography on X and all that, and he's already in trouble with that case in Florida. And I've been trying to get stuff that the victim, the one who's taking him and Trump and Gates to court, I've got information for her to use against Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That will, because Elon Musk, and with the information that I have, he confesses on video to digging the tunnels for trafficking humans, for trafficking, for sex parties. He said for Diddy's sex parties. But he also does the ones for Europe and that as well. That's how he makes all his money. He digs the tunnels so that they can get the kids and the victims and that in and out unseen when they have to do them in large numbers. They used to take them through the desert and stuff, but too many people were starting to call the authorities. I worked on a case in Arizona where that happened, and because they're all bought and paid for, you see, you can't trust them. These politicians and sheriffs and that, they're all in on it. So I worked on a case in Arizona with some children that went missing when I was coming to the end of, because what happened was I was working with my military boys and trying to get information on these kids because they found a skull in the desert, and I was in communication with a lot of these children that were trafficked who didn't survive and who were clinging on to life and calling out for help, and it was me they were coming to because that's what I am. To them, I'm the white dragon. When they see me as the white dragon, which is why I got the name Ithusa. Remember, from Game of Thrones, is it? That one's called Ithusa. I'm the white dragon, but my power is that of gold dragon. But when the kids see me, they see the white dragon. Because I reflect their purity and innocence to them. I hold them within my motherly bosom, so they see me as the white dragon. And so they would come to me and tell me what was happening to them, and I'd document everything. And of course it was starting to bring people like Hillary Clinton and these like Tom Hanks and everybody that I named back in my blog days, I was 100% correct about. They all ended up on the Epstein list. The only one I didn't know about was Donald Trump. He was very, very good at wearing a mask. However, when I started doing those investigations into the plane crashes and helicopter crashes, which, by the way, it's just come out that the Malaysia plane was remote controlled, crashed, which confirms everything that I've been saying about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And again, I presented the evidence to the ICC because what they're doing is diabolical. It's nefariously, diabolically evil. And the crash in Philly had a girl from Mexico who was being trafficked on it. So I told them to go through all the evidence. But yeah, so that the plane in Malaysia, I think it is, was remote controlled from from somewhere outside of the plane. Someone was controlling it from outside of the plane. So it also confirms everything that I had been saying about investigating those crashes. And that's when I found out what Donald Trump was up to. And I got to be honest, hand to God, put my hand on my heart, hand on my Bible, swearing to God, it broke my heart. And I cried because I thought, you know, when I got locked up in that, I was defending him and Vladimir Putin. If you have a look on my YouTube, you'll see videos where I'm saying I'm doing this for my boys, I'm doing this for America, you know, I'm doing this for Indigenous people, I'm doing this for the kids, you know, and I was defending Donald Trump and I was helping him win his election, you know, like doing what I do. And when I found out who he was and that what him and Musk were doing together, I lay in my bed and I cried and I cried and I cried. Not because I felt, it was like, I almost died for you, you fat orange prick. And you ended up being my number one mortal enemy. Elon Musk is my nemesis because he's my doppelganger, because he tries so desperately to be me. But Donald Trump is my number one enemy because I almost died for him. I lost my kids because of him. I almost lost my life for him, thinking that I was defending him, and it turns out he was the one that I'm primarily here to take down. I got him into power. I got to get him out. And I said to the Lord, why did I get it wrong? Like, my gift, I'm never wrong. And I got it wrong with him. And he said, if I had told you what I needed you to do, if I had told you what his fate was going to be, you would have, we couldn't risk you giving anything away and letting him think that he was going to be taken down by me and Satan. And he said we had to let him think that he'd gotten away with everything because he had to be the one to be in power to have the whole lid blown open on the Jeffrey Epstein thing. If Kamala Harris had been put into power, the Jeffrey Epstein thing wouldn't have blown up. It's because he built his campaign on the whole we're going to expose Epstein, and, you know, Levitt and all that saying, and Bondi and that Epstein, to win the campaign and that, and then he turned around and lied. That then put the focus directly on Trump and his administration. And if he knew that he was about to be set up through you saying anything, he would not have been so free to open his fat trap, you know, and Kash Patel and all of that. So he had to be put into power. He had to say in his campaign, oh, we're going to do Epstein and Fauci and Gates and all of that, and Kash Patel, yeah, we're going to do it, and, you know, Bondi and Levitt, and yeah, we're going to do it. They had to be lulled into a false sense of security so that they could walk into that trap. And by them walking into that trap and then turning around and lying about it all, I was then able to link Musk and Starmer and von der Leyen and Zelensky. You know, then I did my research. And it was in me doing my research that's when I started digging up everything from the plane crashes right up until now. I've been investigating Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and then inclusive to that, von der Leyen and Starmer and Carney and Trudeau and Albanese and Ardern. I wouldn't have been able to connect all the dots. I wouldn't have been able to whistleblow and piss X off like I just did if he hadn't have been made president. He had to be led to believe he'd gotten away with everything. So I was kept out of the loop. God had to keep me out of the loop. And then when everything fell into, I shouldn't say that, sorry, when everything fell into place with the crashes, that's a bad use of words there, but you know what I mean. That's when the abyss opened up. And they're all about to get sucked down. So, yeah, Musk and Keir Starmer and that. It was probably because it's about Israel, and we all know that Donald Trump is Israel's bitch. Whatever they've got on him must be really bad. it must be really bad. And we already know some of the stuff that's already come out that he's done that's quite bad. But the unfortunate thing is, and I was just saying this to someone, to my friend a few minutes ago, he's not going to be, he's not going to go to trial. He's going to be like Bill Gates and Bill Clinton. He's going to die before it ever goes to trial. He'll drop dead of a heart attack. He'll be found dead of a heart attack. Bill Gates, I think someone's going to help him through some sort of accident or crash or something. He's already got the grey aura of death around him anyway. Zelensky gets blown to bits because I'm a death angel, so I know how people are going to die. I can see how people are going to die. Elon Musk, I think it's got some. Even though I think he goes to trial and he's going to be found guilty of a lot of things, yeah, it's things in his system that finish him off. Ironically, karma. And Netanyahu, I've already had a dream about him that I just posted. The thing is, when he goes, nobody cares. The people of Israel don't mourn when he goes. It's like they just carry on like nothing's happened. His wife gets removed from the picture. Like she gets sent away, so she literally just, it's like everything that they own just gets picked up and moved. And then Israel just carries on like nothing's happened. Like it all gets torn down with when he goes, and then what I saw was just olive trees being planted all over Israel. And then it's like they get to start again, make amends for the sins that their government have committed. The people, I'm not talking about the government, it's the people who prosper from the olive trees. They make amends. So yeah, Bill Clinton doesn't see prison. Hillary Clinton does. I saw her in an orange jumpsuit years ago. Her and her daughter. So yeah, Vladimir Putin though, he lives a long good life. After this is over, he's free from his burdens. He gets released of any and all karmic debt. He's been blessed by God. He's protected by God. He's been blessed by God, and because of the sacrifices that he's made, and that the Russians have made, and the people of Ukraine have made, in order to expose this worldwide sex trafficking, organ harvesting, money laundering, international racket. When this is over, they get to prosper in a way that they've never seen before. And because the thing is, peace is going to come to Ukraine and Russia without any other country getting involved. America, because Donald Trump, he's a fake. He's a used car salesman. He goes in there leading Ukraine and Russia into believing that he's on their side, but it's not. He continues the war because he needs to hide the gold and that him and Musk have stolen. All the money that they've been stealing from Doge and all that, they've got to hide it. And so he tries to hide it in his holiday resorts and hotels and all that. But I was just saying to my friend just a few minutes ago, peace with Russia and Ukraine is done on their own without any other person getting involved. I don't know if it's because Zelensky's about to be removed from the planet. And I know that when it does happen, like there's nothing left of him. My sons and I have spent a couple of years trying to decide if it was going to be some sort of like explosion or missile or something like that. But I don't know whether he's going to be either removed from his position or removed from the planet, but then it frees up a genuine one-to-one talking between Ukraine and Russia, where they come to an agreement that does involve all the vampires wanting to feast on the the blood and the lands of Ukraine and Russia. They do it amongst themselves. Whoever it is that represents Ukraine after Zelensky's removed from power or from the planet, um, they have common sense and logic. They want peace. They don't want to deal with this anymore. Zelensky's brought too much trouble and too much scrutiny to the government, to Parliament, and that with this whole, embezzlement scandal and golden toilets and all that. And whoever it is that comes in to take Zelensky's place, he's logical. And he's like, okay, we can do this on our own. We don't need the EU and America and that telling us what to do. We're going to stand on our own 2 feet and we're going to deal with this reasonably and logically, man to man, country to country. And that's what they do. And then what happens is, incredibly, I'm telling you now, this is what's coming because I've said it before, I've documented it before. Russia ends up pouring a lot of money into Ukraine and then they end up prospering as well. Jobs open up, houses get built, hospitals and schools get built. There's one little part of Ukraine that is adopted by the Russian-speaking Ukrainians and that. Like I say, how every place has like a Chinatown or Little Italy, or how there's parts of Brooklyn and that's for like the Jewish community and that. It's going to be like that, but for Russians in Ukraine. But jobs are going to open up, buildings like houses are going to get built. They're going to work together to rebuild Ukraine. Russia will come in to help Ukraine. That's the beautiful, ironic thing about, they're trying to get Russia and Ukraine to hate each other, but Russia loves Ukraine. Ukraine is like Russia's baby. Kiev was the capital of Russia back in the day. So when Oleg the Wise was the king, the ruler of Russia, so Russia has a lot of love for Ukraine. It's like their baby. So when all the troublemakers are removed and the warmongers and vampires are gone, once Zelensky's gone, whoever it is that steps in to help heal Ukraine, he's almost identical in his logic and reasoning as Vladimir Putin. Right, let's roll our sleeves up. We're going to deal with this like man to man. We're going to sort this out. No outside interference. And then when there's an agreement and everyone's like, put down weapons, this is it, we're done, send the boys home, let's send our boys home, then Russia, I don't know if it's going to be as part of the agreement or just out of the goodness of their heart, and knowing Vladimir Putin, it would be out of the goodness of his heart, but either or, because they've got so much money, they're going to help them like mine their resources. They're going to all the soldiers and that will be going home to jobs, going home to new housing, like the best hospitals will be built to help treat the soldiers for their injuries, with the help of Russia, with Russian funding. And the rest of the EU and that are going to absolutely hate it. And then what's going to happen is the rest of the world is going to turn around and look at how the new Ukrainian leader and Vladimir Putin are dealing with it all and going, well, hang on a minute. Why did we get involved then? Why did we give them like billions and billions? It'll be trillions by the time you add it all up. What was all of that for if all we had to do was just get Zelensky out? If we had just gotten Zelensky out at the start, none of this would have happened. We wouldn't have lost 1 million Ukrainians. We wouldn't have had to live in fear of sending our boys to war, sort of thing. So, yeah, so that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, how do I put it? Russia and Ukraine are going to heal together what the EU and NATO and America and the UK forced them to go through by no fault of their own. So that's what's coming, and it's going to be beautiful. But because it's basically Vladimir Putin and I against the world, and we're the ones that have been targeted to be shut down and shut up and assassinated and blah, blah, blah. It's because they know that if we pull off what they know is coming, they're all going to end up at The Hague. And that's exactly what I was talking about before that moron tried to kick me out of X. So, but yeah, beautiful things are coming for Ukraine. They're going to end up more prosperous and better than they ever were while Zelensky was in power, while they were in the EU. Because what's going to happen is, as well, after this, it's like through Russia and Ukraine shaking hands and rebuilding together, other European Union countries are going to go, well, holy crap, why are we even in the EU? And then they're going to start having leaders that pull them out. So like France, when Marine Le Pen becomes president, and she will become president, she's already been marked by God to become the next president of France, she'll pull out of the EU. And then the next German chancellor or whatever that comes up will pull out, and the next Polish one, and Estonian and Slovakian, and so on and so forth. And the next thing you know, there'll be like 3 people in the EU. Germany's going to become so poor because of von der Leyen. God specifically said von der Leyen is going to be the reason why Germany ends up so poor. They have to join another nation in order to survive. And I'm pretty sure they even have to change their name, because they won't be able to recover, because they were hoping to get a World War III that they're not going to get, because I've been exposing them all. Because I speak the truth. I'm the truth teller. And it doesn't matter if I have a beef with you, or you've done something to offend me, or anything like that. If what you're doing for the greater cause, or for the, for humanity or whatever, is right, I said to my friend, I don't desert my post. No one will accuse me of saying that I'm guilty of dereliction of duty. I will not go AWOL, and I do not desert my post. God put me in charge of protecting the pure and innocent, especially in regards to Russia and Ukraine, because Russia's been trying to stop them from taking Ukrainians to Israel and all of that. Everything that I said, everything I've told the ICC, that they that Russia was the reason why they're doing it. Like the evidence is clear now; it can't be denied. I was telling the truth about everything. They're targeting him because he's trying to stop them from having access to the kind of sins and evil and depravities that the average mind couldn't comprehend. But it had to be me, because I've got years and years and years and years of experience of witnessing occult sacrifices of children and humans in there. I've been watching a lot of videos to desensitise myself. It's been a long time since I've had to face these sort of things, but I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube and that to desensitise myself from the stuff that we're going to be dealing with at the foundation when we rescue kids, that has nothing to do with like sex and human trafficking, like abuse and all that sort of thing. So I've been preparing myself for that, because obviously, we're not going to be turning any child away who's orphaned or needs our support or protection. So I've been watching videos and trying to desensitise myself, and it's really hard. So just know that beautiful things are coming for Ukraine, and whoever it is that steps in when Zelensky is removed, I think they're very authoritarian, very strict, very matter of fact, but they're by the book, and they use logic and reason. Probably another air sign. It's all about like logically, this can't continue anymore. We can't keep going on like this. We have to use reason, and we have to use, compromise, and they're going to be that kind of person. I have a feeling it might be someone in the military. like a general or something. But he has no ill will towards Russia personally. It's like, holy shit, man, we got dragged into something that we had no business being dragged into. How can we fix this? And Vladimir Putin's the sort of guy who would just say, let's just put down our weapons. Okay, done. Shake hands, boom. Now, let us give you money so that you can give jobs to these boys when they get off the battlefield. That's Vladimir Putin saying to them, okay, all right, and then what we'll do is we'll open up this and you can have some of our blah. Brilliant. Okay, come on, let's do it then. Roll the sleeves up, get on with it. That's what's coming. I got goosebumps, and because this is why they're trying to shut me down. Because they don't want that. The coalition of Epsteiners and Trump and that, they don't want that. He's like a great white orange shark, man, with his big toothy smile. You can trust me, little fishy. You'll be safe in my mouth. Just come into my mouth. Don't worry about the sharp teeth. Don't worry about the bones that you can see hiding in the back of my teeth. You can trust me. I'm a great white shark. That's Donald Trump. So, yeah. And then, of course, he's got his Ramore with Elon Musk and Netanyahu feeding Kushner. His sons, Dinkus and Dorcas. Feeding off daddy. And then you've got the megalodon, which is Netanyahu, who could eat the great white, but he doesn't because he gets too much of the casts off, just like the Ramore, but on a larger scale. So, yeah. Starmer's screwed. What he's just done to me has put the final nail in the coffin. Satan's pinned him up against the wall. So just watch the news. Just when you click on the links below, either click on the links or just go to my social media and you'll see it all there. But if you're sensitive, don't read it. But it proves everything I've been saying in my investigation since my blog days, since the plane crashes, since all of it. So, yeah. So I've got to go and put my bins out now. I've been spent all morning doing my chores and putting my bin bags out. It's the last thing I've got to do. And then I'm going to put my feet up and have a drink of Darjeeling tea. I love Darjeeling. I discovered that in North Carolina when I was at the Newbern Marine Base. Look.